the conversation we had a few minutes ago. Look, ESPN's getting all kinds of criticism for the airing of the NBA Finals, how it doesn't look like a important series. It looks like a series in February. They don't have the Larry O'Brien trophy on the courts. They try to superimpose. People get upset. You have a booth that nobody knows about their future, their present. And and a few minutes ago I said, hey, ESPN's always been knee-jerk reaction to social media, and whatever people say on social media is, we got to fix it because people don't like it, right? It's what pushed Chris Berman to the side. It's what pushed out the Monday Night Football booth. I mean, look, and I was there. I mean, I saw it for years, right? Doing all night there, being there on TV. I know how they just knee-jerk to stuff on social media when sometimes you have a backbone and say, all right, we're going to build this, and this is going to be how we build it. But he had that crazy decision, it doesn't look like a big time, so let's superimpose the Larry O'Brien trophy on the court for game 2. It's like, that's going to do it. That's going to do it, right? That's just stupid.
Why don't you just go and get the different courts like you used during the in-season tournament and all that stuff? Let's do that.
But look, a better part of it is this, and this is another really interesting part of this, is that there's certain networks that do sports better than others, right? And you watch Fox do football and Fox doing football, doing the NFL, it doesn't matter. It's always a big game, right? Mm-hmm. And I give ESPN tons of credit because the sports they do the best are baseball. Well, rest in peace, baseball for them. Baseball and college football and college basketball, right? Those have always been the 3 best sports ESPN's ever done.
Big Monday, Saturday night.
Every game feels big.
Yeah,
every
absolutely.
game feels, the production feels great, right? It's certain sports, certain networks do better than others. But the big thing when you watch ESPN, this is kind of another offshoot of it, is that I feel like ESPN has no identity. Their NBA broadcasts have no identity because it's pregame and halftime of Stephen A. Smith screaming about the Knicks and Halliburton, whatever it is, and then you go into a game, and then it's Mike Breen that everybody loves, right? But then it's Doris Burke, who I love Doris, but now she's might not be a part of it going forward, right? How does that leak before the finals? And Richard Jefferson, okay. Martin Weiss, and we were talking about this a few minutes ago, like they kind of had something good going with J.J. Redick. He was very polarizing, but J.J. Redick obviously is now, my buddy J.J. Redick is now coaching the Lakers.
Top guy.
Like, so they
top
really,
nemesis. They
don't have a voice, right? Like, I don't know what the identity of the ESPN NBA broadcast is. And so, yeah, when you put a broadcast out, this is, we're a little bit of this, we're a little bit of screaming before the game and at halftime, we're a little bit of putting together a broadcast that is kind of, it's nuts and boltsy a little bit, but then now we're going to bring in the TNT guys next year because they're going to add their flavor to it. Like, what's their identity? I don't know what it is. And we talk about this for NFL, for teams in sports all the time. Hey, what's your identity? Like NFL teams, you got to have an identity, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to play great defense. We're going to run the football, right? We're going to put points on the board. We're going to throw we're going to do this. You have to have an identity. Usually you have to have an identity as a franchise, but generally each season, this is the identity that the coaches put forward, and teams with identities generally play better. I feel like they just don't have it. Like they're just kind of, we're throwing things up there to see what sticks, and there's no cohesion, right? It feels like you're watching 3 different shows when you're watching ESPN when they broadcast, and that's never good. Like you want to be able to have some sort of symbiosis between segments and making the game big and making sure big names are talking about it where you want them talking about it. And I don't see it. And now they're going to bring in the TNT guys who are going to come in and basically probably take over.
Well, they've already said they're coming in to take over.
We're coming in because they're like, hey, this is going to be us.
They want to fight like the Edmonton Oilers.
This is a reflection on us. When we come in here now, we want to be able to do the same show, because the last thing, look, and listen, guys, they want good things being said about them. The last thing that EJ and Kenny and Shaq and Charles want coming in is people to go, oh, they're not the same. They've been ESPN. They've done this. They're not the same guy. So they're coming saying, blank you. We're going to do the show we want to. So now, if that's going to be the identity, where do the other guys fit, right? Like Stephen A. Smith is not suddenly going to be on with these guys. They're not going to be on Pat McAfee, and they're not going to, like, you all of a sudden the TNT guys are coming in combatively against everything. So it's going to be such a mess. Like, and so the NBA, ESPN, the broadcast is just, there's absolutely no cohesion on it. I don't know what they're about. I don't know their identity. I know when I'm watching TNT, and I know what I'm going to get from the guys coming off of this game. I know what I'm going to get coming into this game. And again, it's not just it's all ESPN across the board. I know what I'm getting when I watch them do a big college football game. I know what I'm getting when I watch a big NFL game on Fox. I know what I'm getting here. And it's just something that they have lost their voice, and the NBA has lost their way, and you're seeing it on display, unfortunately, in a finals that have two smaller markets, so that's exacerbating it a little bit.
Well, but that's the thing, right? You talk about a very, tumultuous year would be the kind way to describe the relationship between the NBA and Adam Silver, right? Doing a lot of finger wagging when he does his rounds on radio and television about how the game is covered in two guys' faces, like, you're too negative, and okay, well, now you're adding to it because this is going to now go out in the blogosphere of you calling guys out publicly. It's not behind closed doors. We hear this may have been a thing. No, you're putting it out and airing your laundry front and center. You've got the TNT guys getting ready to come in like they're the damn NWO. Right? Which guy's Scott Hall? Which guy's Diesel? Which guy's the Hulkster and Eric Bischoff over there wringing his hands? I mean, you got all that going on. So you got the infighting there. Meanwhile, like I said, you got a whole year of complaining about the coverage of the game. And then what happens when you get a couple of teams like Oklahoma City and Indiana? It becomes they're small markets. They don't have stars. You've heard all the headlines, right? It's been dotted time and time again. So, but like we always joke, you and I, love us, hate us, the worst thing you could be is indifferent. So if folks are watching and they're mad, guess what? They're watching.
Yeah.
You might get some people drawn in who are now going to hate watch to see how bad it really is. But everybody else has already decided they're tuned out, right? They've already moved on to baseball or their summer plans. So all of that to say, it's a product that as you go into the finals, you had a game plan. Right? There's millions of dollars that get spent leading up into this, right? Ad buys, and I mean, we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars being of commerce around the NBA Finals. You didn't go in with any of this just going, hey, you know what, guys? Have a good show.
Yeah.
Right? There's hours upon hours of discussions and blueprints and game plans and behind the scenes, right? You don't just walk on to behind the table there before broadcasting a game. Doris Burke and Richard Jefferson, their producers, and Mike Breen. You know what? We got to keep it fresh for air. We haven't talked about any of this. Nobody's given us any advanced stats. I want you guys on the Google machine as we're in the broadcast. No, you got a team of how many people that are putting this thing together? It's not haphazard. So to do the breakneck responses to, it doesn't look big enough. Hey, if we superimpose the Larry O'Brien trophy, that's going to do it. What, for game 3, is it going to spin? Is it going to start glowing? I mean, what are we going to do? Are we going to put the contrails on the shot from 3-point range so it looks like the old, hey, watch the flow of the bag? Yeah. I mean, what else are you going to do? We're going to superimpose. Hey, what are they out there? They're actually up against a green screen.
Yeah.
And now they are there's no floor. Anime figures, right? No, I mean, that's what we're like, the animated versions. And it's just an insane reaction. You have what you put in for this finals, whether it works or not.
Yeah,
just you got a whole off season to figure it out.
But that's what happens when you don't have a voice, you don't have an identity. You wind up being knee-jerk to what's said on social media, right? Sports Illustrated writes this big article about what's wrong. Okay, we're gonna fix it, but let's put the Larry O'Brien trophy, superimpose it on TV. Like, wow, come
because
on,
some
man.
Media critic decided.
I know. I mean, yeah, great. You're programming ESPN. Congratulations, you've done that. Like, this is what it's a vicious cycle.
Does he get paid?
Things. I would hope. I mean,
we do a lot of stuff that gets used by other shows. I haven't seen an extra check,
dude. I'm still waiting for our ring from the Rams for the Super Bowl from getting Sean.
I got to start going full Dufresne with 2 letters a week.
Jason, and don't forget how Mike Breen had to explain to the audience at the beginning why he didn't use the bang.
Oh yeah,
because he got called out for it. Like, why even address it?
Yeah. Like he didn't on the Halliburton shot to end game 1. He just gave a bang. We talked about it. Like, wow,
he didn't give a bang.
Maybe we did because we talked about it that night. Like, wow, Mike Breen didn't give that a double bang or anything else. He just gave it a bang. And then people talked about it. So we decided to say,
it's a game winner in the finals. It should have been a triple.
Right. So he says after, I didn't give it a bang because I save it for 3-pointers. Okay, fine enough. What happens when Halliburton hits his first shot of game 2? He does the double bang saying, I owed him one for that. Like, Dude, wow, man! Like it's like I feel like ESPN's like the satire, and here's the comedic character who just searches his name on Twitter all the time to see what is said about him. And I can't believe this. I'm doom scrolling and saying all these bad things about me. Like, just go do your thing. Have confidence in the thing, in what you're doing and putting out, and just do it. Right, but this is what happened. You could tell ESPN's not confident in their NBA product.
But that's it, though. But it's brand management. You call yourself the leader.
Yeah.
Yet you're following guys on Twitter as to what they would like to see.
Yeah.
You know what? I would like to see that guy actually with a long cape. Put him in a cape and a nice top hat.
I'd like to see Tony Brothers wearing a cape and a top hat when he sends SGA to the free throw line.
I mean, like, what are we doing?
And there's referee Tony Brothers in the cape and hat, looking very much like Hugh Jackman as P.T. Barnum. Timeout. The Thunder want to talk it over because Zac Efron is now on the court, and they are now going back and forth, trying to figure out who owes what money. This goes way back to The Greatest Showman. A sensational move by Zac Efron jumping on the scorer's table.
Be careful. He might get his head in the game and hit a jump shot on you, too.
Now, so again, when you don't have a voice, that's what happens. Now, I mentioned this, right, because now we're waiting 3 days for the NBA Finals, right? Now, here's
long gestation process before Game 3.
Because I forgot, I said, which was the NBA Finals that I couldn't think about, which had the longest time between games. I said it was one like in the 70s, and I looked it up, it was 78. It was the Bullets and the Sonics when they played, and it took 18 days to play 7 games. 18 days. They started on May 20th. They started on May 21st, right? They started on May 21st. They finished on June 7th. Okay? They played on May 21st, 3 days off between game 1 and game 2. So 21st, 25th, 28th, the 30th, the 2nd, the 4th, and the 7th.
Did they run into a bunch of concerts or the circus?
Well, I'm funny you say that because this is my favorite part of this story, right? So 18 days, and I love that every article about this says, rumors that the NBA did this for television. Like, really? In 78 they did it for television? Okay, fine.
Hey, man, those tape delay games.
But going over the attendance of the series, you see like attendance game 1, 19,000, game 2, 18, whatever, game 3, 19, game 4, 39,000. Like 39,000. So I went and looked. They played the first 2 games that Seattle played at home in the Seattle Coliseum. They played game 4 in the Kingdome.
How about that?
I didn't know that. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, how are 39,000 people at this game? No, they played in the
game
Kingdom.
5 on an aircraft carrier? I mean, come on.
That's what it is right now. Hey, we're playing, we're playing, the Indiana Pacers. Oh, we're going to play, we're going to play.
So Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark.
We're going to play. The Colts are letting us play game 5 of the NBA Finals. I'm feeling pretty good about that.
We're moving to a bigger venue.
I mean, really. I mean, that's insane.
I love it.
I mean, 18 days to play 7 games. And but in the middle, we're going to have 1 game in the Kingdom.
Well, I dig that.